Hello, my name is Augusto and I love analyzing songs. Today we're gonna talk about We Can't Be Friends by Ariana Grande. And if you haven't heard this song before, I highly recommend it. To be honest, I started paying attention to Ariana Grande in 2024 after her Eternal Sunshine album. Before that, I never really paid much attention to her. I always knew that she had an amazing voice, and I always loved No Tears Left to Cry, but I never really paid much attention to her. And it was really these two last albums that really started where I really started getting into her music, and like her Brighter Days Ahead album, amazing, just such a good album. And yeah, she has songs like Dandelion, Twilight Zone, Hampstead, Past Life, Warm. All of those songs are so good. But yeah, it was after these two last albums that I really started appreciating her for her art. And I saw that she's releasing a new song tomorrow, and I felt inspired to make a video about We Can't Be Friends. Even though it's an older song, I feel that this song, I don't feel that people went deep enough with the lyrics of this song, and I wanted to make a video expressing my take on it. And I am going to bring older materials from older music videos, older lyrics to support my argument. The thing is that I heard people saying that Twilight Zone, which is like a later song of her, that was the healed version of We Can't Be Friends. And I remember thinking like, I don't think people really understood the song. And I know that probably the majority of people, when they hear this, like We Can't Be Friends, probably think she's talking about getting back to her ex or something. When she says, wait until you like me again, I really don't think she would be talking about getting back to an ex or something. I consider Ariana a very self aware, conscious person, and I really don't think she would be singing about even considering going back to her ex or something like that. When in her lyrics she's describing something that seems like a toxic situation with projections and what it sounds like something even traumatic. Personally, I met people that romanticize toxicity, so I would understand why some people would think that she would be talking about this. I definitely know people that would think that way, but I don't think she's referring to that. Like, come on, in her song Warm, which by the way, it's such an amazing song, and I think it's so underrated. This is all about self-respect and having high standards. Let's get into the lyrics. Let's get comfortable. And it says, I can find my way, never needed anybody to stay. I've been the one to slip away, never thought I find another could fly here at my pace. If you dare, meet me there. And then she goes, I'll be higher than the exosphere, 'cause now I know I'm safe and sound, and I won't come down for you, 'cause I'm cool on my own. To me, she's talking about not lowering your standards for anyone. And for me personally, in We Can't Be Friends, it's hard for me to think from the perspective that she's singing. We can't be friends, but I would like to just pretend, or wait until you like me again, about going back to her ex. But that's the beauty of song lyrics that they're all open for interpretation. One thing can be interpreted in so many different ways. And maybe I'm just crazy for what I'm gonna say in this video. You can put it in the comments what you think. But from my perspective, I don't think people are going deep enough with this song. I don't think she's singing to a guy or directed to a guy. I don't think she's singing Wait Until You Like Me Again to a guy or to an ex. And before we start, I wanted to talk about a few aspects that I think are relevant to her music lately, like spirituality, connection to self, and healing also. And in the album cover, for example, for Eternal Sunshine, Brighter Days Ahead, in the cover it looks like she's being elevated. It could be interpreted as ascending spiritually. And also in the music video for Supernatural, she's being elevated actually by a spaceship. What I love about this is that not a lot of people are open to talk about how it's super interesting, but I'm not going to talk about all of that in this video. But yeah, I thought it was super interesting how she put together the concept of being elevated and ascending with the spaceship. I just think that was such an amazing approach. And like being abducted by the aliens, but it has like a, I don't know, like kind of like a spiritual vibe with it. I don't know. I thought it was just genius. And going back to that music video of Supernatural, if we look at the lyrics, you could see that it can have a double meaning. You could interpret it as this is like a new romantic love that just takes over you. But if you listen to the lyrics, it could also be interpreted as you being surrendered to your higher self. I don't know, that's just my take on it. Yeah, to me, these last two albums were incredible. And what I love about her lately with her music, it's that to me, she looks like someone that truly did the work and heal themselves, you know? Not even heal themselves, but like whenever you find yourself. I don't know, I just think that is basically shown in her lyrics and just her art. And Ariana had an interview with Zach Sang, and I think he was asking her like, who is this song about or something like that, and she said that she doesn't want to talk about who is this song about, and that what she wants is for people to interpret this song however they want to interpret. And I think, I mean, that's the way it should be with every song. I feel that what a music artist is experiencing or talking about, I feel that we might be, our experience related to that theme might be very different, but the theme that we're experiencing, it's about the same. Does that make sense? Like, for example, an artist, maybe it's going through a hard time, maybe the media is really like trashing them, the gossip, the slander, the throwing their name to the dirt. That is happening to an artist, like a very high level artist. But I feel that I mean, even us, like, we experience that in our circle of people. It's just like on a different level. But I think when an artist express something like this, it's the energy behind it and just the feeling, and it's like it might be like a totally different experience. But that's why sometimes I believe that one song resonates with you and others don't. But yeah, I'm very curious if other people interpreted this song the same way that I did. And yeah, this is me making this video. It's basically me asking to the ethers of YouTube, if someone interpreted this song with the same perspective as I did. And I'm probably not gonna go through all the lyrics, and I am not going to go through and read all the lyrics in order, but we're gonna analyze all of it. Okay, and enough with the intro. Let's dive in. I mentioned earlier how it seems that Ariana Grande is into spirituality, and for We Can't Be Friends, in the lyrics, wait until you like me again, wait for your love. To me, the way I interpret this, it's basically her higher self telling, or like her future self telling her present self, wait until you like me again, wait for your love. Like whenever you're going through a rough time, you're going through hardships, and it's really hard to find hope. I feel that it's her higher self telling her it's gonna be okay, and basically understanding that our minds, in whenever we're going through a rough time, we can't yet comprehend how, like, we're still stuck in the why did this had to happen to me, like, why did I attracted these people? Like, you're still like, you can't understand basically the idea of that your heart, whenever your heart breaks and whenever you're going through pain, is just so that your heart makes more space for more love after. So to me, that's the idea. Maybe we go through a very hard situation that ends up so catastrophically, and we ask, why did I attract this person or this situation into my life? And we might even lose ourselves, but it's also so that we can find ourselves back again. And after that, loving ourselves even deeper. And when it comes to love, the other person is just a reflection of you, and they are a mirror for you to learn the things you need to learn, and for that specific moment in your evolution. And sometimes that person shows us that we need to do some more inner work, maybe respect ourselves more, or maybe being better at setting boundaries. It shows us, that person shows us an aspect in our lives that still need growth. And I feel very related to this song, because I feel that whenever you have this harsh moment with someone or some people, you realize that it's painful, because this person or these people were not at all who you think they were. And to me, that's the most painful thing, when a relationship or a situation ends up so catastrophically. To me, it's not because two people shouldn't be together and that they do not love each other anymore. Like, to me, the harshest thing is when it became such chaos and like war, and one person start villainizing another and making the other person the bad guy, the enemy, and just become this such a turmoil. And with this song, I love that she's now bringing topics such as projections. I love that now artists are talking about more complex themes such as projections. Later she says, I don't like how you paint me, yet I'm still here hanging. Not what you made me. This could be interpreted as someone not seeing you in a good light, and therefore creating this distorted version of you. Not what you made me. I interpret this as, I am not this monster that you created. I don't like how you paint me, yet I'm still here hanging. Not what you made me. I could also interpret this as, her telling this to the public, the audience, like projections from being in the public eye, how people just talk about celebrity gossip like they even know about it. We never really know the full story of anything, and even less from people that are in the public eye, and how maybe even her fans are creating this distortion that without even knowing about her private life, just based on assumptions and speculations. I believe later this is why she says, you cling to your papers and pen. To me, this is the moment that one decides to heal from a negative experience, whatever that may be. The moment one decides to rewrite your story, to start creating something more aligned into your 3D experience. You cling to your papers and pen. To me, this line is about healing, setting intentions, wanting to manifest something better into your reality, something more peaceful, something more aligned, like actually doing the inner work. You cling to your papers and pen. I interpret this as her rewiring her brain, she rewriting her story, rewriting her reality, rewiring her brain. This is to me like you cling to your papers and pen. To me, this is like not letting the world tell you who you are, you telling the world who you are. And she's you cling to your papers and pen. She's healing. She's now planting seeds to what she wants to appear in her reality by manifesting. Wait until you like me again. To me, she's not talking about a guy. Come on. She's talking about herself. Wait until you like. Wait until you meet this new version of you. It's all about you. And that's the thing, whenever you take healing seriously, the universe, God, spirit, source, whatever you want to call it, will gladly help you in the process of healing yourself, on releasing all the trauma, the limiting beliefs, those projections, all of it, making space for this new you. And to me, with this, I wanted to talk about, I wanted to bring the Hampstead music video because I think it's related to this and I think it's all connected. And in this music video, Ariana is basically Frankenstein and she's not moving. She's in this operating table and the video is in black and white. And to me, this could be interpreted as God working on this new creation, birthing this new version of Ariana. And it looks like he cannot bring her back to life. And he gets very angry and starts throwing all these things because he's frustrated. And with this, I want to bring the music video for God is a Woman also, because I think the same concept of when someone tries to shine their light in the world, when someone tries to uplift others, which I think Ariana Grande is doing that, like her music, her lyrics, her intention behind it is to kind of like uplift others, you know, to like remind people of their power. Like this reminded me also of the music video for God is a Woman. And you should take a look at this music video as well. It's an amazing music video, and there is this symbolism that we all have this divinity within us, and it's not nothing separate from us. And it's very aesthetically pleasing. But the main reason why I wanted to bring this video, it's because there is this scene where she's just sitting and there is all these men throwing words at her, words like fake, all these words, and basically it all bounces back at them which is very interesting. But it's, to me, this is symbolizes this concept that I'm talking about of basically trying to humiliating you, denigrating. Is that a word? Is that an English word? Denigrating you, denigrate you, denigrating you. Basically dehumanizing you. Even in the song Focus, we can see this in the lyrics, same theme. But anyways, in this music video of God is a Woman, it gives the vibes of judgment and justice. And to me, it looks like she's in this pantheon and she's holding a gable. And what she says, and what's very interesting, is that she used a line from the movie Pulp Fiction, but now it's narrated from a woman. And it's also from Ezekiel 25:17, which says, "And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers." She says sisters in that music video. "And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee." And I think, to me, this is the same idea when the man doing the operation on her gets very angry, that I feel that this is why we live in this world of like light and dark, and whenever you want to shine your light, you might encounter a lot of resistance in the world. But anyway, to me, it's the same idea that in her Hampstead music video. And then after he got very angry, he lays on the operating table and he looks very defeated, very frustrated. And then Ariana like shows a pulse in her hands, and he has this idea of bringing her back to life with music, using a lot of power. And to me, this could also be interpreted as when other people try to ruin you and like poison you. It's kind of like the more they try to ruin you and ruin your life and basically trying to get in the way of your purpose, the more you elevate and the more you upgrade. And in this scene, to me, is very interesting because he's using a lot of power and she's like being super electrified. And I really like the concept of this. And from the music video being all black and white, now we see color and we see these dead flowers. Now they're back to life. And the last shot is this newspaper burning in the fireplace that says, "Doctor's daughter torn apart by..." And I don't know, to me, this is finally putting an end to all of that. And to me, it's such a beautiful metaphor. And if we look at the We Can't Be Friends music video as well, there is a scene where, she goes to this clinic, and when she's there, she's trying to erase the memories of this past relationship and situation she had. And there is this scene where there's also this box burning with all her past stuff. And to me personally, this means release, like clearing your subconscious from that past experience. All those possessions that reminded her of that time, and it's basically getting rid of all those memories. There is also this scene that she's in her living room, but now her living room is, instead of being with him, now she's with a dog. And even the interior design of her entire living room changes. To me, this is healing. This is a very healthy approach. And I'd done the same in my life personally. I had donated clothes that reminded me of a time in my life or situation that I want to forget, It's getting rid of all that thing from your subconscious, and you don't have to see it again. Or, for example, there was a time where I had to delete and unfollow a lot of people that were just were awful to me, and like it's basically just deleting, removing all the last remaining debris of that part of your life, you know? If you don't see it, you don't have to remember that experience, you know? And basically, that saying, how is it? Out of sight, out of mind. But yeah, to me, this song is all about healing, clearing your subconscious, clearing your psyche from that past experience. And in the beginning of the music video, We Can't Be Friends, there is this questionnaire and it's asking her permission to remove this person from your memory. And she checks yes. And to me, this is the moment when you decide to heal, when you decide to take healing seriously and to sometimes, I mean, if you see it later, she's in the table, she's crying. Sometimes it's having to go back to those emotions and feel them, and maybe there's trauma there, but like we feel that in order to release it, you know? I mean, she goes inside and you can see that she's struggling, but it's also that she can feel those deep emotions, could be deep-seated traumas that later she releases, and she leaves the place feeling happy. She hugs the doctors. But first, this is, to me, this is all about deciding to heal oneself. And sometimes this is the step we need to take if we want to heal ourselves. Sometimes our experiences, the situations that happen to us are very heavy, and sometimes we have to prioritize healing ourselves. And to me, it's beautiful. Like, I love how she represented this in this music video. And this is, to me, the moment when we decide that we want to live our best lives, and that we're not gonna let some mother let us get us away from this present moment, you know? So we decide to go through that in order to feel better again, you know? And I also wanted to talk about the energetics of this. Ariana, she gives me the impression that she's a very intuitive person, that, I mean, I feel like she can feel a lot. And when people think of you, they send you energy. If someone's thinking about you, they send you energy. If someone's angry at you, resented, or having like these really strong emotions, many times they're not even aware of, but they send you this energy and it's affecting you in your daily life. But we can heal from this. But yeah, I don't think we talk enough how many of these situations can affect us so much psychologically in our psyche, and we are dealing with people that would never even take any accountability of their actions, and the only thing they do is victimizing themselves. To me, the most painful thing, it's not whenever two people decide that they're not meant for each other, or that they don't love each other anymore, or that they cannot be together anymore. To me, that's okay. But to me personally, what I don't think I could ever go through in life again, it's to be with someone and they kind of like paint you as this bad guy and the enemy, and like this victimization, and then all these people get against you. Like, that's something I don't think I can go through again. But yeah, to me, this is why I think this whole concept of this video, of healing, of removing these things in your subconscious, to me, this is cord cutting, releasing yourself energetically from all these energies that were on you, basically. But yeah, to me, this song, it's about healing from something very abusive. And when I hear lyrics like, because to me in the lyrics it sounds like She's dealing with a lot of projections, and whenever I hear me and my truth, we sit in silence, to me, this is the moment when you choose peace, when instead of trying to prove your point, instead of trying to prove you're right, you decide to keep your peace, you know? And whenever I listen to "You Got Me Misunderstood, but at least I look this good," to me, this is when you know this person is seeing you in a bad light, because people don't see you as you are, people see you as they are, and with their own lenses of their own reality. And yeah, to me, I honestly love how this song released at one of the moments where I was struggling the most. And whenever I heard this, I was like, it sounds like she's talking to me specifically. but but yeah, and I love how she made her own interpretation of the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I love that the ending of this music video, it's a happy ending because both of them forget about each other and they find love in their paths, but separately. And there's no more any energetic chords. They're like, like, that's healing, that's beautiful. But yeah, I think the music video, the song, it's genius. I love the message of healing here, and I love that the music video just ends up with like this very uplifting sound. She basically was able to rewire her brain. And again, I don't think she's singing "Wait Until You Like Me Again" about a guy. I really don't think so. To me personally, "Wait Until You Like Me Again" is the idea that when we experience heartbreak, and I'm not talking about the kind of heartbreak that it's like, oh, I miss this person, oh, I miss him so much. I'm talking about the kind of heartbreak that affects you so much psychologically and that ruins so many aspects of your life, and that it's just devastating. And I think "Wait Until You Like Me Again," it's about that. Kind of like her higher self telling her, "Wait until you like me again. I know this is hard right now, but just wait until you love yourself and your life again even more." To me, this is the universe making you believe that you failed, but it's not like that at all. Because there is this new version of you that you haven't met yet. That moment in your life that you know it's hard right now, but you know it's gonna get better. And the concept that the heart can expand so much more in deeper ways after we experience heartbreak. And again, I'm not talking about the kind of heartbreak of like relationship heartbreak necessarily, just any heartbreak, just going through a really hard time. Me and my truth, we sit in silence. Baby girl, it's just me and you. 'Cause I don't wanna argue, but I don't wanna bite my tongue, yeah, I think I'd rather die. Me and my truth, we sit in silence. To me, this is when you choose not to be loud about it or try to over explain yourself. I have been in situations where I am being so misunderstood, so projected on by so many different people, but the best thing to do is to not entertain all of that. The best thing to do is just to leave, because all these people already made up their minds about you. Leave. And sometimes the best thing to do is to keep it to yourself and leave. Baby girl, it's just me and you. I am telling you. She's talking to herself. She's not talking about a guy. She's not talking about an ex. Even her album, it's her next to her. Because I don't want to argue, but I don't want to bite my tongue, yeah, I think I'd rather die. To me, here it sounds like she wants to speak her truth. I feel that to be silenced sometimes sucks. Just having to let other people misunderstanding you. And yeah, I feel it's just needing to be silent in something. It's such an uncomfortable feeling. But the good thing is that artists like Ariana Grande and many other music artists, that they have an outlet to express themselves and how they feel with their through their art. And I think that that could be very healing for them. It's something like a daydream, but I feel so seen in the night. To me, daydream here, she doesn't mean, she's not talking about, oh, my life feels like a dream, or like, oh, my life feels like a movie. To me, it's, I interpret more of her talking about when you are going through a tough time in your life. It feels so weird, like it's not even real life. And when it just feels so weird in your relationships, people who you used to trust now acting all weird. And yeah, I can relate that to that a lot. Yeah, I think it can be very painful, people that you trusted, that you even consider family, maybe seeing you in a bad light, and that even backstabbing you. And that's just me. I cannot imagine someone in the public eye going through this. It's something like a daydream, but I feel so seen in the night. I relate to this part a lot because I feel like when we go through a hard time, those are the times when we find ourselves. And to me, this is what I interpret with, but I feel so seen in the night. Your day might seem crazy, but when you close your eyes, let's say, you know everything is good and you know you're safe. And this is what to me means the, but I feel so seen in the night. It's the feeling of, even though you're going through it, you are feeling so seen by the universe. And I cannot put into words how that feels, but it's like you feel like you're being protected by the universe during a rough time. And that's another very interesting thing, because in the music video, I don't know if it's coincidence, but the the music video for We Can't Be Friends, it's 4 minutes 44 seconds. And to me personally, 444 means protection. It's something like a daydream, but I feel so seen in the night. And to me, this really resonates with me, because I feel like whenever you're going through a hard time, it's like this life doesn't feel real right now. And like it's like what's happening basically. Feeling like you're not even in control of your own life. And later, when she dropped Twilight Zone, she also says, did I dream the whole thing? Was I just a nightmare? To me, honestly, I always thought she meant, was that just a nightmare? Different dimensions, stuck in the Twilight Zone. Like, as soon as I listened to Twilight Zone, I felt that I was related, that this song was also related to We Can't Be Friends. This weird feeling, really hard to put into words when your life feels like crumbling. But yeah, going back to We Can't Be Friends, the lyrics, we can't be friends, but I would like to just pretend. To me, this could mean when you have a situation like this, you maybe love yourself a little less. Maybe your self esteem, your confidence decreases. Maybe doubt creeps in, but you don't want people to know that. You don't want people to know that you're human, that you're vulnerable, that you're going through a hard time. From my point of view, she is not singing We Can't Be Friends, but I would like to just pretend about her ex or something like that. I see it as her referencing herself. From my perspective, she's singing to herself. We saw in other videos how she referenced herself as Ari in Thank You Next. forming a relationship, but now with herself. I'd sound like such an Ariana Grande fan, but I don't care. I don't want to tiptoe, but I don't want to hide. But I don't want to feed this monstrous fire. I don't want to tiptoe, but I don't want to hide. But I don't want to feed this monstrous fire. Just want to let this story die. And I'll be alright. I don't want to tiptoe, but I don't want to hide. To me, this is very relatable because to me, this is when there's people that think they already figure you out. And this is just me giving an example, but whenever you're with these people, you have to be extra present because if people already made up their minds about you, if you're not super present in the moment, you will only reflect themselves to them the beliefs they already have about you because our beliefs create our reality. This is why I think this is why she's talking about I don't want to tiptoe, but I don't want to hide. To me whenever she says I don't want to tiptoe, to me this is not wanting to be super careful whenever you have to be around these people. You don't want to fall into other people's perceptions of you, you know? Because our beliefs create our reality. But at the same time, you also don't want to hide. You don't want to stop going to places just because of other people, you know? And when she says, but I don't want to feed this monstrous fire, I believe she's aware that the more she focuses on one thing, the more she's attracting it, because that's how reality works. You attract what you put your attention to. The things you want to attract, but also the things you don't want to attract. And I mean, this reality says yes to both. And I made an entire video about it, about pendulums. Whenever we put our attention onto something, that thing grows, you know? And if we put our attention into the wrong things and the things we don't want to appear in our reality, that thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And it's crucial for us to be aware of what we are feeding to. If you want to stop something in your reality, the best way to stop it is to starve it. And then she goes, just want to let this story die and I'll be alright. When you stop giving it your energy, when you stop focusing on it, it slowly vanishes from your life. And let's end the analysis with the beginning of the song. It starts with, I didn't think you would understand me. How could you ever even try? I do believe this is her higher self or her future self talking to her from the future, telling her that in this exact moment you cannot understand with your mind why that had to happen. And I feel that everyone can relate to this. Her future self or her higher self basically telling her that she would understand if she's angry at her in this moment or at the situation. Sometimes we're even mad at ourselves at that point. And this is why, to me, there's the line, wait until you like me again, wait for your love. And this feeling of being angry or annoyed at yourself or at the universe even, I take that as we can't be friends. Like you being annoyed or angry at your higher self because they chose to go through what you are experiencing right now. And with our minds, we cannot understand it. So yeah, I believe that's why the song it's called We Can't Be Friends, but that is just my interpretation. I personally think the meaning of the song it's way deeper than what people may think. But yeah, with this I wanted to talk about a book by Caroline Myss called Sacred Contracts. And in this book, basically it says that everyone have a sacred contracts that they need to do in this lifetime. But basically is the concept that before coming here we already agree on things in our journey that would help us in our spiritual development, and that sometimes maybe it's healing stuff from past lives, and basically the idea that this life it's all for spiritual development, that there is nothing outside of us that will make us happy or fulfilled. And again, it's back to the idea that everyone is you and you are everyone, that the whole universe, the whole entire universe is one single organism. And reading the lyrics, baby girl, it's just me and you, it could be interpreted as baby girl, it's just me and you whenever you have to be single for a while, maybe, or maybe you lost a lot of relationships and now it's time to just be by yourself. Or it could also be as baby girl, it's just me and you. I mean, if you think about it, it's just you and you in the whole entire universe. Basically, this concept that this life is a play, and that even though you might feel like you're losing something, this will lead you to where you need to be. And with this idea that life is a play and that all is connected, if we talk about Twilight Zone again, from the album that she released after We Can't Be Friends, and to me, this song, Twilight Zone, it's a continuation of We Can't Be Friends. And it's not just the ethereal sound and vibe, but also the theme, I think. And this concept that pain and heartbreak only leads you to where you need to go. She says, it's not like I would change a thing, because I'm right here where I'm meant to be. But yeah, to me, Twilight Zone is not the healed version of We Can't Be Friends, just because it's a little more straightforward. I see Twilight Zone as just being the continuation of it. And this is why I love music and lyrics that is so open and free for interpretation. And this is all just my own personal interpretation, what this song means to me. And I'm sure many other people may interpret this song in so many different ways. And I think that's the beauty in music. For many people, it could be so many different things. To me, I feel this song it's deeper than just that. To me, this song it's about healing from your past. And I'm not saying I'm right. This is just my personal interpretation. And with Ariana Grande, either if you love her or hate her, you have to admit that this is art. Not just her voice, not just the sound, but the meaning, the depth behind it. And as I was looking into doing this video, and I'm just talking about one single song, but I was looking at some of her other stuff, and there's just so many connections between her intention of what she's trying to communicate with her audience. And I don't know, to me, it's just, I feel like she's very connected to her creative power. To me, she really got to access this part of yourself. And I feel she's able to channel that and express it into the world. And that's what good artists do. And this creativity, this creative power, this creative self-expression, this unique self-expression, I feel that everyone in the world is able to bring this into reality, but not just everyone. It's in a place within themselves of self-love, self-trust, that they can channel this into this 3D reality for other people. And to be honest, I am just very grateful that there are people like that. I have a cramp. I am just grateful that there are people like that, like music artists like Ariana Grande, that even though with all the slander and the gossip and just people throwing your name to the dirt, I feel like it's easy for us to shrink ourselves and to want to hide. But I love that she's just shining her light regardless of all the darkness that wants to pull you down. To me, it's very inspiring. And to be honest, I cannot even imagine being a famous person dealing with all that gossip and slander and people misunderstanding you. And I experience this same type of energy, but in my situation, just in my circle of friends. And I'm telling you, it's a horrible feeling. I think it's so amazing that someone like her, that it's just at that level of fame and success, and they are able to come to the other side. She even goes on tour, she's releasing albums, she's doing movies now, and I'm just grateful that there's just people that just continue walking their path, and instead of hiding because of what the media are saying or because of what other people are saying. I don't know, I just think it's very motivating. And especially I love to seeing someone heals that, I don't know, in their energy, in their lyrics, in their art. I think it's undeniable. And to me, it's a motivation for all of us that are in our healing journey, that it's very encouraging to keep doing it and just to keep rewiring our brain and become a better version of ourselves. It shows us that it's all worth it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to know. And if you enjoy this video, like and subscribe for more. We'd love to have you around. And keep it up.